All right, on this episode of Bowks Talking Bouts, happy to be talking to an individual who is set to compete on August the 19th in a lightweight bout. It is LFA 139. We have Junior Melo and Adam Assenza getting out there and testing skills, and always good getting to talk to Adam before these big fights. How's the day going so far, man? How's the preparations leading into this one here?
Great, buddy. Good training today, nice and busy the way I like it.
Yeah, and a pretty quick turnaround. I mean, from what I could tell, at least from my outside perspective, it didn't seem like the BTC 15 victory saw you sustain a great deal of damage there towards the early part of June there. So was the desire to want to have that quick turnaround and get out there because of that?
I'm just trying to stay as busy as I can. I want to fight as much as possible, every fucking month if I could. The commission usually doesn't let you do stuff like that, but that's the plan. Just stay busy.
Yeah, and just thoughts on the last performance there. It seemed like a statement win. It seemed like it couldn't have gone any better. But you strike me as a guy that's very analytical and just always looking for different angles and always trying to refine what you're doing. So what is your overall assessment of the last performance there against Dominic Clark? Because it seemed, like I said, pretty comprehensive from what I could tell.
Yeah, no, it was good, but a couple things I could have tightened up on. A couple things I could have done differently, just like any fight, right? I always like to get a nice flashy finish, so that's not typically how that one went. And, made a mistake or two, and, we just got to tighten up the shit.
And as far as, how the LFA specific fight came about, when did that dialogue kind of get going? Did they, reach out to you about an opportunity? How did, I guess, the wheels get in motion for the LFA foray?
I just show up the fight, all that stuff, that's all managers and all that kind of stuff, right? So, for me, they say, hey, you want to fight? I say, hell yeah. They say, do you want to fight at this date? I said, hell yeah. They said, is this guy good? And I'm like, hell yeah. And that's kind of how it went down, I'm just looking to fight as much as possible. My goal is the UFC. So I need to beat up all the bad dudes on all the shows, as many as I can until, they give me a call.
Yeah, and it seems like the main event scene is no stranger to you at this point. Is there still some cool factor being in that sort of spot, just being that it's indicative of, where you're at as a fighter and your general progression? How does it feel being in the main event for this one here? Is it kind of something you're getting more acclimatized to and everything, or is there still kind of a cool facet to that dynamic?
I'm a main event fighter, I sell tickets, guys like watching me fight because, I'm flashy and I always bring it, and ladies love me, so that's just something that makes sense to me. I don't, for me, the main event spot is something that I'm always going to go for, and I feel like I should be in. I'm a crowd pleaser, and, there's going to be no different at this event, it's going to be the same thing as always, and I just can't wait to fight, man.
Yeah, and you mentioned the UFC being the core kind of promotion you want to go with there. That's sort of within your kind of proverbial crosshairs there. I would think that being on a UFC Fight Pass kind of promotion that you would be enjoying that aspect of it, just the proximity of the broadcast platform to the company there.
I mean, yeah, that's the hope, but the only thing I'm focused on right now is killing this dude on August 19th. But yeah, hopefully, some other good stuff comes out of it too.
Yeah, for sure. I get you very locked in on the task at hand for sure, and you've always been that way for sure. What have you seen in your upcoming opponent, just in terms of his stylistic proclivities and everything? What does Junior Melo really do well from what you can tell?
He's well-rounded, he's a good striker, black belt in jiu-jitsu, he's tough. He's got the full package, but I wouldn't expect to be fighting anybody who wasn't the full package at this point in my career. You know what I mean? So, I take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, fighting anybody in this sport, you need to be prepared in all aspects, and that's exactly where I'm going to be on August 19th. I'm going to implement my game plan, and I'm going to go to war.
Yeah, for sure. And are you getting in work at the usual spaces there? I mean, it seems like you've been able to get in work with a lot of really the best guys throughout Southern Ontario, and I mean by proxy the country. You could definitely make the case for there. Are you working at the usual spaces BTC there and Aegis MMA, Niagara Top Team, etc.?
You got it. Yep, getting all that working with those boys on all those spots. And yeah, man, we got a good crew of guys right now, and the training partner selection is phenomenal. So it's been a great camp so far.
And are you like curating your choice of like sparring partners and bodies and stuff like that to like what your opponent is gonna bring to the table? Like, are you tailoring things in that kind of regard?
Not really. You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what he's going to do. It just matters what I'm going to do. And I like to get different varieties and change things up just in general, because you never know. You know, you can prepare for somebody that you're going to fight, and they can show up on fight day with a completely different game plan, a completely different style. You know, things change so quickly. People evolve in the sport so fast. So you just have to be prepared everywhere, and you got to be good everywhere.
Yeah, in one other space I saw you getting in work at that's a little outside of the norm there. Like I saw you with Paul Jalbert and Uriah Faber there. What was the experience like getting in that kind of work with, you know, Team Alpha Male and some of those guys? I would think that's a great time to be had too.
Yeah, it's always great. You know, I like to go down there and get some work in here and there. And, you know, Uriah in this camp is phenomenal. And, yeah, they've got always great guys out there. And it's just good switch it up and get some different looks. And yeah, man, change it up.
Yeah, no doubt. And something else I thought was really cool, just seeing like a recent Instagram post there, and I saw it when like the event was going on too and everything like that, just like the donation you were able to make to the Canadian Cancer Society. Can you talk about that? Because I saw you really like pushing that effort very strongly, and super cool to see you use your platform and influence in that sort of regard there. So can you kind of just talk about that whole experience? Because, you know, it seems like a very enriching, altruistic kind of thing for you to be doing there, man.
Yeah, the AA Cancer Knockout, you know, fundraiser is near and dear to my heart. You know, like at the end of the day, for me, cancer has like been plagued my whole family for a long period of time. I've always wanted to do something in that regard and just, you know, share awareness and just build up a platform where people, you know, are helping people that are dealing with cancer or families with cancer or whatever it may be. And, you know, I wouldn't be able to do any of that stuff without my team. Like, you know, I really want to go through them and introduce them, because they've helped me so much, because, you know, obviously the idea was to get more eyes on it with like my upcoming fights, and that seemed to work really well. But it's super tough when you're, you know, putting together a cancer fundraiser and a charity and also training for a fight at the same time. So, you know, with the help of my team, I was able to do that, and we actually did really well at our first go. And, you know, a lot of other things have spawned off of that, and other partnerships that are going to continue to move, you know, the fundraiser and the charity forward. And yeah, we're just going to keep pushing on with that, you know, full steam ahead.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, who was helping you with that initiative there? Like, people internal to like the BTC team there, or like who was helping you with the foundation?
Yeah, definitely. People that are internal to BTC team, training partners, fighters, family members, you know, clients of mine and stuff like that. Like, it's been a whole thing. So everybody's been jumping on board. Yeah,
I just love the supportive dynamics over at like the Burlington Training Center there. Like, even beyond like the localized, you know, MMA endeavors and stuff like that, it just seems like a real family dynamic where there's that like broader supporting each other in all endeavors sort of thing. Like, how important is that to you as not even just a fighter, but just as like a person within like a communal interaction, I suppose?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's super important. Like, the thing is, for us, what we've done is people, you know, again, fighting is definitely a violent sport. You know, it's definitely physical, but there's also a lot of good aspects to it. You know, discipline, just confidence that you gain from it. And, you know, we've put it in a family, you know, environment where, you know, you can have anybody from any walk of life come in, get some good, you know, weight training, martial arts training, befriend, you know, good people that all have the same goal in mind. And it's kind of spawned into its own entity at the end of the day. So that's what we've always kind of strived for. And I'm just really happy with how things are going, right? So, you know, you see the fruits of the labor of just like good people working hard, trying to, you know, help out anybody that they can.
Yeah, you love to see it, man. Even from my outsider perspective, it's just really something that you can tell, just like a tight-knit kind of community there and all the dynamics. But, I mean, some of the past efforts there, you've collected a couple belts there, like the B2 fighting series and then BTC as well. And I know we were talking about not overlooking the opponent, but in terms of getting like the ideal outcome and everything like that, would a trajectory towards like an LFA title hold interest to you, or maybe not even thinking about that at all? It's just totally not on the table.
I'm always interested in titles, you know what I mean? But right now, all that matters is that, you know, getting my hand raised on August 19th. So that's the only thing that I'm thinking about right now.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, always great getting to talk to you ahead of these big fights, man. And just, yeah, kind of wanted to just give you the floor if there was any parting thoughts you wanted to add there. I was seeing some sponsorship opportunities are still out there. So maybe something like that, maybe get some people on the Adam Assenza train if they're not already.
Yeah, I definitely have a couple spots open for sponsorship, on my shorts and stuff. You can get at me on my Instagram, at Adam Maverick. And make sure you guys tune in August 19th, UFC Fight Pass, and check out the main event because it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, a fight I'm very much excited for as well there. And yeah, good to see LFA 139 getting that Assenza name top in the marquee opposite Junior Melo. And just, yeah, thanks so much, Adam. Always appreciate you coming on the show and giving great insights. You enjoy the rest of your day, and just looking forward to checking the fight when it goes down too, man.
Thanks for having me, buddy. Appreciate it.